There will always be bullies. Patch the duck was out for their regular afternoon run in Waz Park. It was a warm spring day, and the sun had not started to set. Waz Park is one of Patch's favorite places. Maybe there were fancier parks, but Waz Park had a special energy. At all times of the day, it hummed with activity and people. It is the great mixing pot of Waz, the People's Park. Every day at the end of their run, Patch stops by the Great Plaza in Waz Park to visit their friend Shuffle the Turtle. Shuffle is a musician and plays for tips at the Great Plaza. Shuffle has become quite famous for playing in the plaza over the years, and often draws a large crowd. Patch was almost done with their run, getting close to the Great Plaza, but did not hear Shuffle's music. This was strange. Maybe Shuffle was taking a break, thought Patch. A few minutes later, Patch turned the corner and entered the plaza. There sat Shuffle. Shuffle was not playing any music. There were no crowds. Shuffle looked upset. Patch ran up to Shuffle. "Why aren't you playing any music?" asked Patch. "Because of this," said Shuffle, showing Patch that the plug of their keyboard had been ripped off. Shuffle continued, explaining, "Some kid came out of nowhere when I was setting up and just kicked my keyboard. Thing hit the ground and the wire was stripped from the plug." "Kid didn't say anything?" asked Patch. "Nah, just came through, kicked over my keyboard and ran away," said Shuffle. "That's crazy," Patch sighed. "Well, let me help you fix it so you can get back to playing. My hands are much better suited to this kind of thing than yours." Patch twisted the wires back together, reconnecting the cord to the plug. Shuffle used some electrical tape to complete the fix, then plugged the cord back into the keyboard. Shuffle played a few notes. The keyboard was working. "Great, looks like we're good. I'll stop by tomorrow during my run to check in. Make sure there are no more punk kids causing trouble," said Patch, smiling. Shuffle laughed. "Thanks, I appreciate it. See you tomorrow." Shuffle started to play their first song while Patch continued their run. Waz Park Plaza the next day. Patch is there listening and keeping an eye out for punk kids. There's no one in sight. A few people have gathered to listen to Shuffle play. Suddenly, an adult Shuffle had ever seen before angrily charged up to where Shuffle was playing. "This is the worst music I've ever heard. You should not be playing in front of children. You need to stop now," shouted this adult. Shuffle continued singing, but then the adult came right up to Shuffle's microphone, and Shuffle was forced to stop. Patch started to move to get between Shuffle and the adult. Not wanting the situation to escalate, Shuffle motioned to Patch to stay away. "I'm sorry I don't play the type of music you like, but other people are enjoying the music and I have a permit to play here. So if you do not enjoy the music, maybe you should go to a different part of the park," calmly argued Shuffle. "I'm going to get you banned from this entire park," said the adult with significant hostility. The adult then turned around and walked away. Patch came over. "What did that person want?" asked Patch. "Hates my music, doesn't think it's safe for children, and wants to be banned from the park," said Shuffle. Patch frowned. "I guess at least they didn't kick over my keyboard," shrugged Shuffle. "Man, 2 days in a row? What's going on in this place? Who does this person think they are, a band? Come on, really?" said Patch. "I know, right?" said Shuffle. "Well, I'm going to get back to playing." "Cool. I'm going to go back to the run. Call me if anything else crazy happens. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow," said Patch. "Sounds good," said Shuffle. The next day, Patch had gotten a late start to their run, so by the time they got to Waz Park Plaza, Shuffle had already been playing for half an hour. Coming into the plaza, they saw a group of adults and children gathered around Shuffle, singing and dancing along to the music. Patch stopped on the edge of the crowd to listen. Patch waved to Shuffle. Shuffle gave Patch a thumbs up. Everything seemed good today. No crazy people. Patch waited about 15 minutes and then headed back out for their run. But less than 5 minutes back on the trail, Patch's phone buzzed. It was a text from Shuffle. Shuffle needed help back in the plaza. Patch sprinted back. Entering the plaza, Patch saw 4 police officers standing around Shuffle. The crowd was still there, but there was no music. Patch moved up by Shuffle's side so they could hear. The officers were telling Shuffle that they had to stop playing and could no longer perform here. Seemed to Patch to be a lot of officers to deliver this message. "I've been playing here for years and I have an active permit," said Shuffle. "Let's see your permit," said one of the officers. "Here you go," said Shuffle, and handed over the permit. "This is expired," said the officer. "I don't think that's possible. I was at the town hall yesterday to get it renewed," explained Shuffle. The officer, getting visibly irritated, replied, "Let me see that again." Taking the document back, "Oh, this is the wrong permit." "I think it's the right permit. It's the same type I've been using for years, and I just had it renewed yesterday," argued Shuffle. The officer was now visibly angry. "Who's the police here? We say the permit isn't valid, and you need to go. If you don't go, we will arrest you," growled the officer. The other officer put their hands on their belt and shifted closer to Shuffle. Patch knew Shuffle like a sibling. They understood Shuffle wasn't going to back down on their own. "We still think we probably have the right to play in the park, but how about we take a break for today, and we'll check into this permit situation tomorrow at City Hall. I don't think anyone here wants the hassle of an arrest." "Sound fair?" interjected Patch, looking at the officers, then locking eyes with Shuffle. "Fine," said Shuffle. The lead officer scowled at Patch. "Good choice. We better not catch you playing here again." The officers walked off. "What the hell? What was that all about? Shouldn't have to back down. Those cops were bullies," said Shuffle. "Then they would have put you in jail, and this would have taken longer to sort out." "Do you really think you could handle jail?" argued Patch. "Okay, fair," said Shuffle. Shuffle thanks the crowd for coming, but says they will need to end the show today due to permitting issues, and that they will return at a later date. While Shuffle is saying goodbye to the crowd, at the edge of the plaza they see the police officers. They are talking with the adult from the other day, the one who threatened to ban Shuffle. It appears that the adult is handing something to the officers. They shake hands and walk their separate ways. "Did you see that? What did they hand them?" asked Shuffle, motioning over to where the officers and the adult had been talking. Patch frowned. "Money. The adult thanked the officers for stopping you from playing and handed them money." "Whoa," said Shuffle. "Yeah, it's a much bigger problem than I realized. But I have a plan," said Patch. The next afternoon, Patch showed up at the park with reinforcements. Shuffle was not going to stop playing. Patch had called up the crew: BK the dog, Salsa the cat, Biz the pigeon, and Six the raccoon. They had all shown up to provide support. They posted on any social media account that would have them about the event, and Shuffle spread the event through word of mouth within the music community. Shuffle will be hosting a greatest hits extra-long show in the park that evening. The crowd was large, but not record-setting. People of all ages, adults, children, pets. Patch had set up a video camera and microphones to live stream the show. Hundreds of fans from around the world gathered to watch. As they were setting up, no police officers appeared. Neither did any protesters. After about half an hour, still no issues. "Maybe we're in the clear," Shuffle said to Patch between songs. "I don't know, it seems weird that after the last 2 days that there would be no response. We are blatantly defying them," answered Patch. "Wait, look." Shuffle nodded to 2 police officers walking the edge of the crowd. Shuffle and Patch watched the officers for a moment. However, the officers didn't approach. They simply walked past the crowd and out of the plaza. "Maybe they only interfere when they are getting paid to," said Shuffle. "Maybe," said Patch. "I mean, one of those cops from yesterday? I had seen them at the shows almost every day last spring, so without the extra cash, maybe they remembered they were a fan." Patch smiled. "We'll see." Shuffle got back to playing. About 10 minutes later, Shuffle felt something hit their arm. Shuffle turned around to see a group of adults charging towards them. The adult from the other day was in the lead. "Stop playing now, we warned you," shouted the adult. Shuffle felt something else hit their leg. They looked down. It was a small stone. The adults were literally throwing stones at Shuffle. As the adult got closer, Shuffle could see the anger on their faces. They started yelling at the crowd. "Go home! Don't encourage this trash! Your children shouldn't be listening to this," shouted the adults. The group of angry adults were far outnumbered, but it didn't seem to matter to them. The crowd looked confused and did not disperse. This made the group of adults even angrier, and they started throwing rocks at the crowd. By this time, Patch and Shuffle's friends had made a wall between Shuffle and the angry adults, shielding Shuffle. There were not enough of them to block the rocks from hitting the crowd. The police were nowhere in sight. Things had gotten extremely dangerous. Shuffle moved to the microphone. "Because a small group of people has decided to be disruptive and violent, we're going to cancel today's concert. For your safety, please disperse." The crowd dispersed, and Shuffle packed up their things and left the plaza. Angry adults stood in the plaza, waiting until everyone else had left. By now, Shuffle and Patch knew that if they wanted to stop these angry adults, they were going to need to bring in reinforcements, that the situation was going to get uglier before it got better, that these adults were serious and they were willing to use violence. Shuffle and Patch did not want to use violence, but it was also apparent that they could not count on the police. They would have to depend on themselves, their friends, Shuffle's fans, and the community. Patch took the day off from work and arrived at the plaza early to help Shuffle set up. This time they built out a small platform stage and added several additional video cameras to live stream the audience and any protesters. "Were you able to get in touch with those influencers you were talking about?" asked Shuffle. "Yes, they have all agreed to promote your show, and several will even be here in person live posting. I think we've about 20 of them," said Patch. "Nice. And I got News 10 coming. They did a story on me last year. I asked them if they were interested in doing a follow-up." "Perfect. I think we've done a ton of promotion. Not sure what else we could have done." "Hoping gets the crowd we need," said Patch. "Me too," said Shuffle. "Okay, I'm gonna go get warmed up. Can you go check the live stream cameras?" "Will do," said Patch. Half an hour later, the plaza is quickly filling up. It's already looking like it'll be one of Shuffle's biggest performances. Patch starts the live stream. Shuffle comes out to applause and immediately starts playing. 10 minutes later, the plaza is full. This is by far the largest show Shuffle has played. Thousands of people are watching the live stream. The plaza crowd is singing and dancing. Children are running around in circles. Pets lie at the edge of the grass. It's still early, so there's plenty of sun in the sky. 2 police officers enter the plaza to check out what is happening. They stay for a bit and listen to the music. One seems to be swaying. After a few minutes, they leave the plaza without speaking to anyone. Another half hour passes with no incident. This seems odd to Patch and Shuffle, and they are still on alert. This does not mean the angry adults will not show up. And of course, they do. About an hour into the concert, the adult from the first day is back. Today, joining them is a mob at least 3 times the size of the one from the day before. While only a fraction of the size of the crowd who came to see the concert, it is still a lot. "We told you to stop several days in a row. We had the police tell you to stop." "What do you not understand?" shouted the lead adult. "I'm enjoying playing for these people, and they are enjoying listening to me play, and I have a permit to play, so we will continue to enjoy ourselves. We invite you to stay and enjoy yourselves as well. If you do not want to join us, that is okay. We do ask that you don't be disruptive, so I can continue playing, and they can continue listening to the music," said Shuffle into the microphone. Everyone in the crowd on the live streams and listening on the news to hear. "Stop the music," shouts one of the other adults in the group. Something hard hits Shuffle's forehead, leaving a bloody gash. A soup can lands by Shuffle's feet. More items begin to be hurled towards Shuffle. Patch and the rest of Shuffle's friends form a human shield around Shuffle. Shuffle keeps playing. "Do you want to hear some music?" Shuffle shouts into the microphone. The crowd roars back. Yes. Shuffle cranks up the volume on the speakers and launches into one of his most popular songs. The crowd goes wild. A group of adults seethes with anger. They charge into the crowd, knocking people down on their way toward the stage. The amplified music has brought several police officers to the plaza to check out what is going on. They are the officers from the other day. These officers radio for additional officers. Eventually, 20 officers line the edge of the plaza, but the situation is now combustible, and the officers don't want to get involved, so they just watch from the perimeter. At this point, the mob is lost in the crowd. The crowd is too big. The crowd continues to dance, almost ignoring the mob, or at least paying little attention. The mob has stopped throwing items. They don't have room to reach over their heads. I don't think you need the human shield anymore, says Patch. Agreed, answers Shuffle. Shuffle leans into the microphone. All musicians who brought their instruments come to the stage. Musicians come out of the crowd and head to the stage. Saxophonists, guitarists, someone with a kazoo. All kinds of musicians come to the stage. Where are my dancers? Come to the stage, announced Shuffle. Modern, street, tap, all kinds of dancers made their way to the stage. It was now hard to tell where the stage ended and the audience began. It was a big, beautiful mess. The concert continued on like this until just before sunset. It wasn't clear what happened to the angry mob. They seemed to have just disappeared. A few minutes before 7 p.m., one of the remaining officers approached Shuffle. The park is about to close. Can you ask your crowd to go home peacefully without any problems? Asked the officer. Yeah, I can disperse them for you, said Shuffle. But next time we play here, you need to keep that angry mob away. Sure, whatever, said the officer and walked away. Shuffle leaned back into the microphone. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming and see you tomorrow. Patch, who had overheard the conversation with the police officer, approached Shuffle. I don't think they're going to help us, said Patch. Me neither, said Shuffle. But now, at least, I don't think they will work against us. True. And we don't need them anyway. We have the people on our side. Well, that and video evidence of the angry mob assaulting you, replied Patch. Shuffle laughed. I just don't get it. What drove them to hate my music so much that they were willing to kill me to stop it? In the end, I don't think it had much to do with your music. At first, maybe they didn't like your music, but then it just became about not liking being told no, said Patch. I guess there will always be bullies, said Shuffle. Yes, but that's why you have friends, said Patch. True, said Shuffle. Shuffle and Patch packed up and left the park for the night. Shuffle continued to play concerts in Waz Park Plaza. While most days were free of bullies, when bullies did show up, Shuffle knew they could count on their friends and community to help fight back.
Road runner runs on the road all day.